Hello, this is BlueStar, Defender of Equestria, and I have good news and bad news. The good news is, this is BlueStar 3. The bad news is, it's only like half of it. Oh dear. Yes, I'm very sorry. I've been meaning to do BlueStar 3, but I just put it off, and put it off, and put it off, and now Season 4 is started, and everything. There's just so much to do, and not enough time to do it, and stuff like that, so I did try to record BlueStar 3, and up until basically the end of this video, it was okay, but then I really wasn't happy with the rest of it, and I've been meaning to try to get the rest of it, but I haven't been able to get into the zone and stuff, and I don't know, it's just not working. I'm gonna have to actually, oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna have to write it out like a normal person. I like this method, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to be working anymore. I mean, I think it just simply I need to sit down and do some writing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wait till probably after Season 4 and then finish the rest of it and probably do all of that in text and publish it somewhere where I don't know just yet. But yeah, I think so. But until then, I hope that you enjoyed this part of BlueStar 3. And again, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. But I hope you enjoy what I do have for you, and thank you for showing your interest in BlueStar 3, and I just hope you enjoy.
BlueStar once again fell into dream, seeking rest and understanding. It had been a hard day, but he knew that there was something else going on. Not all was as it had appeared, but instead of rest he found a memory of something that happened so long ago and that he had tried so hard to forget, but he just couldn't seem to. It was the day that his father had passed away, and where he had almost lost his life as well. He and his father had gone out kayaking down the river, and BlueStar, despite his father's warnings, grew further and further away from him. And BlueStar, turning to see his father, struck a rock and capsized, and suddenly found himself in the water, and fought to keep himself above it. He heard his father calling out for him. But then he turned and saw his father strike the same rock and fall over and into the water. And all he could do was just watch as his father disappeared below the water's surface. And then the water grabbed him and tried to pull him under. He fought and struggled, and for a moment he thought he wouldn't see the surface again. But almost as if the water released him, he floated back up to the surface and took in a much-needed breath. Once again searched for his father, but could not see him. But then he felt something hard strike him as his head struck a rock, and he was sent into a world of black and cold and pain. And when he awoke, his head throbbed and hurt from the force of that impact. And he opened his eyes sleepily, not knowing where he was. And it took a moment for him to realize that he was in the middle of a large lake, that his kayak and his father were nowhere to be found. And for a moment, he panicked. He didn't know where to go or what to do. The only thing he knew was that he was in trouble, and that he was on his own. He also knew that he was cold. He must have been in the water for a long time. The water must have carried him from the river into the middle of this lake, and even now he could feel the faint remnants of the current pushing him further away from shore, further away from safety. His first instinct was to simply swim to shore, but But as he gauged how far away it was and how cold he suddenly became, he realized he wouldn't make it. That the cold would rob him of his life before he could get there. And again he searched for his father, but he knew he wasn't there. A part of him knew that his father was gone. There was nothing that he could do to help him. And once again panic took him, and he just simply stroked for sure, but again realized that that would simply be a waste of his energy. And he tried to just remain calm. He closed his eyes and just simply relaxed and calmed himself and told himself that he would find a way to get out of this. And even if he couldn't, that he wasn't going to give up. He had made a promise to his father long ago that he would always fight to the very end, that he would always do so bravely and nobly. So he would not allow himself to panic or let fear control him. And it took a moment, but he managed to bring his fear back under control. And he turned his mind on how to get himself out of the situation he was in. Again, he couldn't think of anything. He knew he couldn't get out of this on his own. He needed someone to come and save him. But there wasn't any pony that could help him. Then he turned towards the sky, thinking, is this the end for me? But then an idea came to him, a spell that his father had taught him long ago, that if he was ever in trouble, to use, and then he would come for him. Although he knew his father would most likely not be able to help him, he remembered the spell and focused on it. Pointed his horn towards the sky. His horn glowed a brilliant yellow, and a beam shot up into the sky, and a moment later it flared into brilliant spheres of light that hopefully would attract any pony's attention. This flare spell, he had used it once before when he was lost, and once he used it, his father was able to find him. But again, he knew his father couldn't help him. Part of him could still feel that he was gone, but he wasn't going to give up. Maybe he was still out there somewhere. So BlueStar, with the only course of action he could come up with, just floated there, wrapping all his legs around himself to conserve his energy and his heat. And for a moment fear took him again as he realized that his life jacket had probably been the only thing that had saved him so far. And soon, maybe even that wouldn't be able to save him, as he could feel the cold slowly taking him. His eyes began to close. He continued to force them open, and every few minutes send out a flare into the sky, hoping that some pony could rescue him. But as time passed, he began to lose hope. No pony was coming for him, and his eyes began to close again. He knew if he let that happen, he would probably never wake up again. And he continued to fight. But soon he no longer had the strength to, and he knew he could only do the flare spell one more time. So he focused whatever energy he had left and made it as strong as he could. And once it was gone, he collapsed in the water and just couldn't fight anymore. I could feel his eyes closing, and he couldn't keep them open anymore. And so he finally closed his eyes and started to just go to sleep. And he was scared and afraid, but even so he would not let go. He wasn't ready to go yet. There's so much more he wanted to do, and he didn't want his journey to end here. And a part of him was sorry. sorry for what had happened to his father. It was his fault. If he had listened to his father, none of this would have happened. And he thought to himself, I'm so sorry, Father. I hope you can forgive me. I'm sorry. Then he heard a faint voice. A voice as though off in the distance. And he didn't know whose it was. But he tried to force his eyes open one last time, and was unable to. But he heard the voice grow closer. He knew some pony was coming for him. And he thought, please help me. I can't fight anymore. I need your help. And for a moment he thought they were moving away. His heart sank once more. He still refused to give up. He wasn't going to give up till he couldn't fight anymore. But he knew that time was growing close. Just when he thought it would come, he felt some pony reach for him and pull him from the water. He was still too tired, too weak to do anything but listen as the ponies carried him and placed him in what he thought was a boat. One of them was worried, almost afraid. For a moment he thought that BlueStar was dead, but one of another pony said that no, he's still alive. He could feel them taking off his life jacket and wrapping a blanket around him, and then having one pony hug him, trying to keep what warmth he had alive. And BlueStar could do nothing but just stay and not let go. But eventually he was able to force himself back enough so that he could open his eyes, lay his head against the pony that had saved him. And he could feel the other pony's relief as he realized that BlueStar was still alive, and BlueStar himself felt relieved knowing that he was most likely going to be all right now. And so for a few minutes they just held each other this way. And BlueStar was grateful just to be alive. Then he realized that he still didn't know what had happened to his father. So he looked into the eyes of the unknown stallion before him, and the unknown stallion looked into his eyes with great sadness, saying, I'm sorry, but he's gone. And his eyes drifted to a tarp on the other side of the boat, and BlueStar could tell that it was his father's body underneath. And the stallion said, we tried our best, but there was nothing we could do for him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry too, BlueStar said. I couldn't do anything for him either. And then just laid his head against the stallion's chest, and he just cried. There was nothing else he could do. Then the memory just seemed to fade and shimmer away, and he seemed to grow and mature in an instant from that young child to the adult that he now was. But he still found himself embraced by a pony. And strangely, this pony felt strong, and large, and warm and reassuring, though he was still a child wrapped in an embrace of an adult pony. He did not understand. This embrace brought him comfort and warmth to his heart, so he did not fight it. Until the unknown pony spoke. I'm sorry, BlueStar. I'm very sorry. As I said, I did not know. And when he realized that this was the voice of Princess Luna, his eyes snapped open, and he was afraid. He was embracing the Princess of the Night, and he tried to push her away. But she held him there and spoke reassuringly to him. No, BlueStar, don't fight me. It's all right. It's all right. I'm sorry, Princess Luna. I've always wanted to respect you. I would never ask you to again, BlueStar. It's all right. Don't be afraid. I'm here because I care. Because I want you to understand. I want to help you, BlueStar. But I did not know. I simply did not know. And I'm glad that I can help you in this way. We all have pain. We all have regrets and things in our past we wish were not true. I have a feeling you know what mine is. And I thank you for sharing yours with me. I don't understand, BlueStar said. What do you mean, share with you? I can only go where I am needed and wanted. There are those ponies who would not want me to help them, who are too afraid to share their pain, their feelings with me. And I am glad that you are not one of them. I'm glad that you have begun to trust me. I'm very glad for that, BlueStar. As I said, you are an interesting creature. And I'm glad that I chose you. Despite everything you've been through, you've still managed to be strong. You've never given up. Even when you had every reason to, you've always found a way to keep going. And I'm sure your father would be very proud of you. And BlueStar's eyes lowered for a moment, and Princess Luna seemed a little sad. I'm sorry, BlueStar, but it wasn't your fault. And even if it was, you have an excuse. You were young. We all disobey our parents sometimes. Then she extended one of her hooves and lifted his chin up, so that he was looking into her eyes, and a warm smile reappeared on her face. But you also listened to your father, and remembered everything he taught you. You did very well, and I know he's proud of you, because through it all you were strong. You were everything that he wanted you to be. I'm sure that he forgives you for what happened. But regardless, BlueStar, let it go. It happened so long ago. But if you still need help, I will be here for you. I'll help you to sort this out. But I forgive you, BlueStar. I forgive you, if that helps you. And I am very proud of you, because I know you will always fight for us. You will always fight for the things that matter. You will not give up. Even though you have fear and pain, those things will not control you, and you will fight on, always. I would be honored to have you beside me, and if someday need be, to fight for me. And this is why your father would be proud of you. And this is why I'm proud of you. Thank you, Princess Luna. Thank you. It would be my privilege and my honor to fight for you, to serve you and Princess Celestia. It's what I've always wanted. I know it's what my father wanted too. I'm sure it was. Your father taught you well. He taught you very well. I never knew him, but he seems like a good stallion and a good father. Thank you for sharing his memory with me. What little there was, I like. Now, BlueStar, I have a question for you. A question? What do you think this dream is about? Why do you think you've seen this now? So I can see it in your eyes. The uncertainty, the questions. And there's one question in your head right now. Why? I honestly don't know, Princess Luna. All I know is that it hurts me. I'm afraid. Why does it make you afraid? What are you getting at, Princess Luna? I don't understand what you're trying to do. I have a feeling you know the answer. Yes, I think I do. But it does not matter if I understand. It only matters that you understand. The thing with dream is that there's almost always a reason. There's almost always a why. But it is usually up to the dreamer to discover that why. I want to teach you to learn how to find that answer on your own. Because I can't always be here for you. I can't be here to tell you what the answer is. But I want to help you understand. I see Princess Luna. I see. Thank you. You're welcome, BlueStar. You're welcome. Now, why does this dream frighten you? Because there was nothing I could do. Do for what? Or for whom? I couldn't do anything for myself. I couldn't do anything for my father. I couldn't barely save myself. There was just simply nothing I could do. Tears began to appear in his eyes, and slowly they fell to the ground below him. I'm sorry, BlueStar. Past can be painful, but sometimes understanding is the best way to heal. How else does this frighten you? How else does it make you feel? Cold, helpless, like no matter how hard I fought, I just simply couldn't win. All I could do was wait for someone to come to me. And with that, he began to understand why the dream had come to him today. He looked into her eyes, and with understanding lighting his eyes. Just like today, no matter how hard I fight, my future, my life is gonna be decided by you and Princess Celestia. And all I can do now is just wait to see if you'll save me or not. Well done, BlueStar. Well done. You've taken your first step towards understanding things that appear to not be understandable, that appear to not have a point or a reason. But usually there is. I'm proud of you. And you're right, because in a way, for now, you're not in control of your future. All you can do is wait. I know how difficult that is. I waited for a very long time. A very, very long time. And BlueStar bent his head low, in respect. I'm sorry, Princess Luna. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. I am too, but everything worked out in the end. Don't be sad for me. It's all right now. Me and my sister are back together again. I assure you that I will never let anything like that happen again. Just as I'm sure you will never let what happened to your father happen to any pony else. I commend you for that, but I also warn you, don't let it consume you. Don't let that drive to fight against failure consume you. Do you understand? He looked at her, not fully understanding, but still knowing enough to know what she was warning him of. That path could lead to something very dark. Yes, I do understand, Princess Luna. Perhaps not completely, but I understand. Thank you. I will try my best. You have that promise. I will always do my best. I will not give up. I will not give up for anything. I will always be there for you and Princess Celestia as best as I can. And he said this with the utmost sincerity as he raised his head up, proud to stand and fight for the princesses of Equestria. And Luna's eyes were somewhat surprised, almost shocked, but then that smile came back to her face. I'm sure you will, BlueStar. I'm sure you will. Do not be afraid. I promise you this. You will be a member of the Guard, one way or another. I've convinced my sister that much. We could definitely use someone like you fighting for us. And BlueStar's eyes widened as joy began to fill them. And Luna began to smile as well. But then a slight frown appeared upon her face, and she turned towards the darkness as though something was calling her, and then turned back to BlueStar. I'm sorry, BlueStar, but I have to go now. My sister's calling me. I must say she was not very pleased when she first learned of the time that we had spent together. What? Princess Celestia knows. Yes, she does. I don't keep secrets from my sister. Not anymore. Don't worry. I didn't tell her anything too personal. But she knows. And she was angry at first. She simply doesn't want me to pick favorites. But once she started to get to know you, she started to see what I saw in you. You're a good and strong stallion, BlueStar. Never doubt that, because I can see doubt and fear in your eyes, even now. Never doubt yourself, BlueStar. You've always had the strength inside. You've just needed to find it. But now I have to leave you now. I promise you this won't be the last time I see you, especially in dream. And she turned to go, but BlueStar called out to her one last time. Wait, Princess Luna, can I ask you something? And she turned to him, surprised, and said that he could. Does it hurt you to be in Pony's dreams this way? Because I would never want to do anything to hurt you. Her eyes grew confused and surprised again, but then once again a smile came upon her face. Do you know you're one of the few ponies to ever ask me that? It's a long story, one I don't have time to tell. But in short, it used to. But now it doesn't. Because now I understand. And I know how to control the images I see, how to protect myself from them. And also, understanding often takes the image's power away, as I'm sure soon you will discover. But don't worry about me, BlueStar. This is my way. This is my way to help those who need me, because I can touch them in a way that no pony could ever imagine. When I entered your dreams for the first time, you slowly began to reveal to me the things you didn't let any pony see. I'm glad that you did. I know in time, this darkness will be lifted, and then you'll be able to trust me. And that wouldn't have happened without entering your dreams. So I don't regret it. I don't regret it one bit, BlueStar. So don't worry about me. But thank you for caring and for respecting me. She turned briefly to the ground. Few ponies have. Then she turned back to him, a gentle smile appearing on her face. But I'm glad to see that that's slowly changing. Long time ago I was Nightmare Moon. I tried to hurt all the ponies. But now that I'm just Luna again, all that fear is slowly going away. And now they can see me for who I always was. That I always did care about them. That I just wanted them to love me the way that I loved them. Thank you for being one of the first. She bowed slightly to him in respect, and he bowed in return. But then she turned to the darkness once more, as Celestia was certainly calling her. This has been an interesting discussion, BlueStar, but I'm afraid Celestia is insisting that I come to her. We still have much to discuss. Your fate is still uncertain, but do not be afraid. I know there are good things for you in your future. Until we meet again, BlueStar. Until we meet again. Goodbye. Goodbye, Princess Luna. And thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, I have one small gift for you before I leave. I know it's been a hard day for you. And I think this, in a way, might help you heal. Rest well now, BlueStar. Rest well. Just sleep. I hope your heart knows peace now. Take care. You too, Princess Luna, and thank you. And Princess Luna's horn glowed with that silvery light BlueStar was starting to get to know. Then everything just disappeared. Then he found himself at the side of the lake where he had once struggled and fought for his life. And at first he was confused. He didn't understand. He hadn't come here in a long time. It had always been to seek answers, not rest. But then he listened to the gentle waves lapping at the side of the beach, the gentle moonlight above. Something inside him just felt tired, just wanted to lay down. And so he did. He lay down in the sand, and at first was afraid, as all the painful memories came back to him. As he lay down in the sand, just listened to the water. The water just seemed to soothe him, calm him, and help just mend those painful memories. And instead of this being a place of pain, slowly became a place of rest and quiet. And so BlueStar closed his eyes and just fell asleep, relaxed and quiet. And in this way he rested and slept. And to his surprise, he just felt rest and peace this way, and he did not wake until the following morning. Princess Luna opened her eyes sleepily. She forced herself awake, and she could still hear Princess Celestia calling to her. And so she wasn't surprised when she looked up and saw Celestia above her, trying to wake her. And she was surprised to see that there was a slight worry in her eyes. Then Luna turned towards her and slowly got up and asked, "What's the matter, sister? You look worried." "I was simply worried for you, Luna. I tried to wake you, but you didn't. Usually, it's not that hard for you to come out of dream." "Well, I'm afraid this time I was having an interesting discussion with one of our recruits, and I must say you had right to be concerned about him. There is great pain in his past, and there's a lot of things that hold him back. But I assure you that he will overcome them. He will be strong. But he still has much to learn, but I'm confident that he will. But I have a feeling that's not why you've awakened me. It is, and it isn't, my sister. It's time for us to make this decision. But I'm still uncertain. I know you've chosen him, despite how often I've tried to convince you to not pick favorites. I know you've already made up your mind, that you've made your choice, but I'm uncertain. I need to know more about him. I need to understand. I need to know he's the one that we're after. You know how important this is, how important they are. I know, big sister. I know. But he will do fine. He's the one we want. I know it. I'm not so sure. I know I wanted someone who had something to learn, because they all need to learn, including him. But he may be too weak for this. I cannot have the guardian of the main six fail when he's needed the most. I understand that, Celestia. I assure you he would not. I must be certain. She smiled. You are clearly his friend. Even though you do not want to admit it, I know you care for him in some way. I'm afraid I do. But nothing like that. He's just a friend. He reminds me of when I was younger. I had pain, Celestia. I had great pain. I had no one to help me, just like he does. I wanted to simply tell him he's not alone. I understand, Luna. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. I can never make up for what's happened, or what didn't happen. We've been over this, Celestia. I forgive you. I'm just glad that we're together again. Being without you was much more painful than anything I went through before, and I don't want to be without you again, sister. Nor do I, my little sister. I missed you too. Maybe it's best that BlueStar just becomes a guard. It brought back all these painful memories in all of us. Perhaps, but sometimes that's the only way we heal. You could be right, my little sister. You could be right. But I still have to know. I still have to know if he's ready. I have to speak with him myself. And I know what I must do. I know you will not like it. I know I don't like it. But I feel it's the only way. And she told her. She told her what she planned to do. And she was right. Neither of them liked it. But Luna agreed that it may be the only way.